Hi, my name is Lana Arianes and I am a teaching communications major. Gender communication is an important aspect in all relationships regardless of connection. Gender communication is polar opposites, and it's important to understand that gender communication begins in the fetal development stages. Just at 8 weeks old, cells function together to determine the sex of a fetus. Once sex is determined, a girl fetus's brain develops and sprouts at a higher connectivity in communication and the emotional part of the brain. Female fetuses develop much larger communications in the center of the brain. They later enable her to communicate at a higher scale in comparison to her male counterpart. Research from Barton Goldsmith, a psychologist, states that in the course of a day, females speak at 25,000 words in comparison to a man at 12,000 words a day. At the end of the day, men are done communicating, when in reality, a woman still has a whole day's worth of things to say. As one grows and starts learning about the opposite gender, it becomes very apparent that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. The research article I chose is Gender Communication, a comparative analysis of communications and approaches of men and women. A journal written by Professor Vanita Moshendira and Dr. Samina Azar, both professors at the Humanities Social Sciences Department at the Institute of Technology in Bhopal, India. They study the difference of gender communications, and the study describes the investigation of how men and women communicate so differently. The article compares the difference of communication styles of men and women. Women communicate to convey information and build connections. Men communicate, their communication styles mostly connect with conveying information. They build rank and they build positions. Men and women also socialize differently too, and consequently have different methods of speaking. Men do something called report talk. They give advice to solve problems. They have direct requests and rarely give praise or compliments to others. Men stick to the facts and they gab about sports events and statuses, the latest baseball stats, their favorite MVP, and the fastest car in the Indy 500. Men also use words more often than women. Women, on the other hand, use something called rapport talk. Women offer thank yous, they downplay authority, and they apologize more often. They take the blame, and they use less aggressive, non-threatening language. Women also crave to be trusted. They are loyal, and they consider others. They love to be with their families, and women help others, and they also care about the community relationships they have. Women talk to make connections, and they talk about their feelings. They discuss personal matters and past experiences and share these things with their women friends. Women are nurturing and process all the information that they talk about to make the best decisions for their lives. Women also most often use eye contact, and eye contact is a nonverbal communication and is also a sign of emotion. Women smile, use gestures and hand motions more often than men as well. Understanding the communication different styles that men and women have will help people to understand each other more assuredly. When we develop relationships, it will be much easier and more simple to recognize the differences that we all have. The differences can help make better decisions with relationships in work, with friendships, and loving relationships. The article shows indeed the many differences that men and women have with communicating, and their differences are innate. We are born to communicate this way. The difference in communication is also with verbal, nonverbal, and emotional communication. The video I'm about to show you describes a situation between a husband and a wife, and the husband gets a text from a mutual friend of theirs, and the text basically says, "Please pray for Tom, he's in a bad wreck." Well, when he shows the wife the text, she goes on and asks, "What happened? What happened to the family in the wreck? Where did they go to the hospital? Was anybody hurt? Was any what were the injuries?" Basically, the woman is asking for much more detail than the man is able to give. To have better communication between men and women, we need to practice communication competency. Communication competency refers to the knowledge and effectiveness of appropriate communication patterns and the ability to use and adapt those patterns with knowledge in various contexts. We do this through cognitively observing others. And in conclusion, there's many numerous differences shown in the video and the article between men and women. Women, if you want to connect and communicate more effectively, you should do things like stick to the story, be specific, and don't expect a lot of details from the man. Remember to have patience, to be kind, and men also just try to listen to what she is saying. Understand that we all have unique differences in communication styles. Be patient as we all process, relay, and convey information to one another. And lastly, acknowledge there are obstacles when communicating, and you should just try to overcome them by remembering these differences that we have. Thank you.
Fact of life, women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example of this. 6-7 months ago, I get a text one day. The text says, "Please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck." I walk into the kitchen where my wife is. I said, "Hey, I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck." She said, "Was he driving?" I said, "I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck." "Were Carol and the kids in the car with him?" "I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck." "Were the people in the other car hurt?" "I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck." "What hospital did they take him to?" "I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck." She said, "Well, you don't know anything. What do you know?" "I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text said he was in a bad wreck."